neurotransmitter impacts, keto will generally raise dopamine and lessen serotonin. Okay, because the tryptophan, which helps us build serotonin, and tyrosine, that help us build dopamine, they compete to get across the blood brain barrier. So when you eat a diet that is mostly protein and fat, tyrosine wins out more and you make more dopamine. When you eat more carbs and protein, tryptophan tends to win out more and you make more serotonin. So for somebody who has perfectly great natural levels of serotonin, they might be great on keto. And maybe they needed a little more dopamine. So they're feeling on top of the world and crushing it and loving it and mental clarity. And they're like, woo. By the way, I think so much of the mental clarity that people experience on keto is dopamine.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, if you have impaired glucose metabolism in your brain and now you're putting ketones in your brain as a fuel source, that can help too. But that whole like, I'm on top of the world, I'm going to become an entrepreneur, I'm going after it in life, a lot of that's dopamine because
Mm.
dopamine does go up on keto. And so you take somebody now, though, that maybe their dopamine was good, but they are kinda teetering on serotonin. They're gonna start having, like, loose stools all the time, all sorts of gastric distress that doesn't resolve itself. Their sleep is actually gonna go down if they were already lower serotonin. They're gonna feel less happy in life. So, I write about these in the book, and I'll just leave that there, but there are a bunch of reasons that you wanna consider, and, the last one I'll cap that off with is people are like, "Oh, keto is so satiating. Fat and protein so satiating." Well, insulin actually has an impact on satiety, and this was what I experienced big time. It's like when I got done with my meals on keto or did not feel done. I did not experience some I could go a long time without eating once that hell was over because I was keto adapted and I could just run off body fat for fuel. But at the end of my meals, it was just like if I could just have like a pint of strawberries, I would be so good right now, but I'm not. Ugh. And when I that was honestly, I think what really changed a lot for me when I got off keto was like, cool, I can just have some blueberries or some strawberries. I feel good now. I'm done. The meal is complete. But without that, some people I think are more sensitive to that than others. And so then you can end up having more binge eating, disorder eating. And most of the keto people, they are effing lying, let me tell you. So many of them have binge episodes. I know because I used to coach people day in and day out on keto for years, and it is extremely common. And they're not telling you about that when they're making their posts about their keto lifestyle, about how Friday, Saturday, and Sunday they went off the freaking rails on cupcakes and everything because it is a restrictive diet. So that's a whole another aspect I get into is the mental, emotional relationship with carbs and how you're looking at a keto stint. So, keto is amazing. It's a therapeutic intervention. I have a couple clients on keto right now when necessary. I totally use that as a temporary tool, but there's a lot of downsides of thinking like this is just some way I'm going to maintain my weight forever. So, that's basically what the book is about.